Okay, guys, this is Ray Chen. Today we're gonna talk about how to date an Asian woman. First, subscribe to my channel, like my video, and if you have any comment, we can talk about it. So first, I'm gonna share with you guys about me. I'm actually 40 plus years old already. Recently I got married with my wife. So she's from Canton, China. She's about 12 years younger than me. So I'll share with you my experience and how we met. And because I have a website called ChinaWife.net. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of guys on there that seems to be very interested in marrying a Chinese or Asian woman, lady. So this topic is about how to marry an Asian girl. Okay, it's not about how to date an Asian girl, how to whatever. But it's for the guys that really wanted to find an Asian woman and settle down with an Asian woman. So basically, I met with my wife on the Asian website, dating website, and so as soon as I found her on the site, so we exchanged the WeChat, and then we started chatting, both video and audio, for I think a couple weeks. And soon after that, I flew to. At the time, she was in Singapore, so I flew there, and we met a couple times, and then I started flying, back and forth to see her every month, and then we got married. So we actually, got married after only knowing each other for 5 or 6 months, half a year. Then we got married. But in between, something did happen, that we had some kind of argument, but I still persisted, and then then we got married. So I figure, since there's a lot of guys in following my website, the ChinaWife.net. So I guess I do a tutorial on how to date and marry an Asian lady, right? Okay. So the first step, you gotta be prepared yourself, right? Because most Asian ladies, their culture is a little bit different from Western culture. So the Asian woman, they value stability. They value financial stability. So you gotta be, yourself. You gotta be squared away, right? So obviously you gotta have a stable job, or you gotta have a stable business where you can make a good living, right? So if you cannot make a good living, it's gonna be hard to find a decent lady, right? That's number one. Number two, you gotta maintain yourself, right? For example, I'm 40 plus years old. I'm not saying I'm in my perfect shape, but I exercise, I try to eat right, and I try to maintain my weight. So there was a time I was 170 pounds, so I dropped my weight to 160 pounds. But this past couple months, my weight increased a little bit, but now I'm kind of trying to keep it down. So financially, you gotta be stable. Have enough money to at least maintain a good lifestyle, and physically, you gotta be in a good shape, right? You gotta at least gotta present yourself well, right? So I would say that's the two most important things that you need to at least be ready, before you try to think about marry somebody, right? Doesn't matter who you marry, Asian, whatever lady, especially for Asian ladies, because I think this is something they value a lot, right? The stability, financial independence, and you cannot look too ugly, right? You gotta Okay, this is number one. Number two, nowadays because the internet, right? It's you can pretty much find anybody on the internet. There's a whole bunch of websites. You can do a Google search. I think there's like a East Meet East, 家园, 百合. There's a whole bunch. There's many websites where you can, date a Chinese or Asian lady. So what I did is, so look at it. If it's not because of this dating site, there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to meet my wife, because she's a Chinese, but at the time she was living in Singapore. So so that's how I registered. I registered on the website. So that's how I was able to find her. So you gotta register an account on one of these dating sites. Make sure it's a legit, dating site, a major dating site. I know there's some dating site out there. They're just trying to get people's money. Like they're gonna charge you 10 cents to read each email. That's all crap. That's bullshit. You do not use that kind of dating site. Okay, you got to use a dating site that's maybe like the dating site I was using. I think I was paying like $20 a year or something. I forgot how much it was. And after I paid, then all the messages free included. If some website is gonna charge you, 10 cents to read each email, that's not a legitimate dating site. That's some kind of fake sites. Okay, and other people say fake. So this is one thing. You gotta make sure when you're start dating online, you gotta make sure that whoever that you're talking to is real. Okay. So register the dating site. Get a couple nice pictures. You don't have to upload 10, 20 pictures. Just get at least, I would say, at least minimum 3 to 5 pictures. And the pictures gotta be real. It cannot look like it's took in the studio. You want the picture that's like, maybe it was the background of your house, or your car, or even inside is okay, or maybe in the park, whatever. It's gotta be a real picture that presents you well, that makes you look nice. You gotta pick the best looking picture, right? So that's number one. And because most of these dating sites, they have all these criteria that people can search. So they can search your age, they can search for your job, they can search how much you make, they can search if you have a car or if you own a home. So you want to make sure to upload all those information. And your description, it doesn't have to be super long, as long as it's authentic, right? The key is authenticity. It has to be real, right? So basically, you upload your site, your profile, and then you do a search, right? So you can search according to what you like, your criteria, right? For example, you want the age bracket of the girl that you want to meet, body type. Either you like a skinny girl or you like a voluptuous girl. The region, how much money they make. So you can search all those criteria. The thing about the criteria is you don't want it to be too strict, because if it's too strict, then you're gonna miss a lot of profile, right? So I guess the thing about dating or marrying somebody is, first, number one criteria, you have to like the person, right? There has to be chemistry, right? If there's no chemistry, everything else is meaningless, right? So that's why let's say some people, you might have a requirement for their height or for how much money they make. That's okay, but don't be too strict on all those aspects. Like, for example, when I searched for my wife, I didn't even input the location. I just kept the location open. So let's say if I was really strict on the location, I wouldn't have found my wife, because not in a million years I would know that my wife was in Singapore at the time, right? So the key when you do the search, you want to have a big return, big result to email to, right? So you decide what kind of criteria is the criteria you want to input. Don't make it too strict, and then you search. Once you get the search result, then you go through the profile, then you email anybody that you like. You look at the picture, if you like the person, then you email, right? Obviously, you send the information, you email within the application. Obviously, if you don't like the picture, why would you contact the person, right? So only contact the person that you like when you saw the picture, right? So you contact those person, and I think you should immediately try to exchange for contact information. Some people say, oh, if I don't know them, if they don't know me, if I just ask for the contact information, will they think I'm a creep? Don't worry, man. So it's the same thing. You are trying to pick the best person, the girl, and the girl is trying to pick the best guy. So if they think you have a good profile, if they think you have a trustworthy profile, then they're gonna give you their contact information. The key is you do not want to chat on the dating website for too long. Just email everybody that you like, exchange the contact information, for example, WhatsApp, WeChat, whatever, or Line, depending on. So and this is another thing. You want to make sure you are using the application that people are using. For example, in China, most people use WeChat. Most of the Chinese girls use WeChat. In Taiwan, Taiwan is part of China too, although they deny it. But in Taiwan, Hong Kong, most people use Line, right? Or maybe Thailand or those other countries, maybe they use Line. And there's some people they use Telegram, I'm not sure, or WhatsApp. But I would say majority of the Asian girls in Asia, they use either WhatsApp, they use either WeChat or Line, okay? So obviously, if you want to chat with the Asian girls, you gotta download those applications, chat software. So you tell them what's your WeChat contact, and then you add their WeChat. And once you add the girl WeChat, the first thing you need to do is to determine this is a fake account or not, right? So the easiest way to determine if it's a fake account or not is by chatting with them, not typing, but either voice chat or video chat. Video chat is the best, because that is when you can determine if the person is real or not. But nowadays, with the technology being so advanced, there is people that can fake the video chat. Can you imagine? So you gotta be careful. So the purpose of doing the video chat and the audio chat is to, number one, determine if the person is fake or not. Number two is to establish a close communication as soon as possible. That way you know if this person, if it's someone is someone that you want to continue to have a conversation or not. Okay, so once you start chatting and you determine that this person is somebody that you plan to possibly have a relationship, then you should go meet with the person. I know nowadays, because the COVID is making it difficult for everybody to travel, because remember I married my wife. She's actually still in China right now. Before the COVID, I was able to go visit her, go meet with her at least once a month. But now, because of COVID, we haven't seen each other for over a year. But in a regular situation, after you chat with the person on WhatsApp, on WeChat or Line, you want to go book a ticket and to meet with the person as soon as possible. That way, so number one, you know if you feel the person is a good match with you on the chat app, then you gotta go meet in person to see if the person is the girl you want. Because if that person is not the girl you want, then you can move on, right? You don't want to waste your time on somebody that is not gonna be the right fit for you, right? So after that, then let's say if you meet with the person, and if that girl is the girl that you want to have a relationship with, then you want to spend as much time as possible with that person to see if you're good fit, right, with each other, right? So it's very important. Obviously, first you have to be able to establish the relationship first. So the Asian girls, I mean, not only Asian girls, I guess all girls, they want to know that you truly love them for who they are, right? They want to know that you're not just trying to get into their pants, right? So you have to show sincerity, right? So how do you show sincerity? You have to show sincerity through how much money you spend with them. You have to show sincerity through how often you go meet with them to see them, right? So when I was going after my wife, I used to fly there every month, right? So that's why, I mean, if you're trying to get married and meet doesn't matter if it's an Asian girl, whatever girl, you gotta have some money, man. If you're a fucking, poor as fuck and you have no money to do anything, then that's not gonna work, okay? So you want to make sure you show sincerity. You want to make sure. So I remember there was one time when we were dating, when I was dating with my wife, we had some type of argument. I forgot what's the detail. But although we were in the argument, it felt like we were almost ready to break up. I still flew to China, without knowing whether she'll meet with me or not. I still flew there. And I think because of my persistence, she felt that I was very serious and I was really into her. So she became more open to me. And also, every time when I go there, I bring her gift. Not just cheap gift. I buy those brand name gift, like good brands, luxury brands. I mean, you don't have to buy them at department store price. You can buy them on Joma shop or when they're on discount, whatever. For example, if it's $500, maybe you can buy it for $200. So every time I meet with her, I give her a nice gift. So I give her a watch. That regular price is like $5,000, but I bought it for much cheaper. So you wanna. I'm not saying that you have to do that. I'm just saying that that's a good way. That's a good way to go about it, because you can save some money, right? At the same time, you can show her that you're serious about being with her, that you're willing to spend your money on her, right? That's important. That makes her feel important. That makes her feel like you are really serious, right? That makes her feel like you really love her, right? So you need to show that you're willing to spend money, right? So this comes down to, so after you establish a relationship, when you're together, you have to then